and Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BSPN radio show. I'm here by myself this week. Max went home for Thanksgiving this morning, and I will be doing the same this afternoon. But I thought in the meantime, why not? You guys are going to have a long week, dealing with the family and such, unless you have a wonderful family life, in which case you're not going to be listening to this. But either way, always good to put out some content for those who want to listen. So here we are. It's Wednesday the 27th, day before Thanksgiving. We're going to have a great time. Immediately after the show, I'm going to be getting on a bus to go back to New York, the greatest city in the world. I mean, greatest pizza this side of the Atlantic Ocean. What else isn't there to love? But to start it off, the NBA standings are looking as such. The Lakers are, of course, still atop the Western Conference, with the Nuggets in second, Clippers third, Mavericks fourth, despite those horrible jerseys. The Rockets at 5, Jazz at 6, T-Wolves are at 7. I repeat, the T-Wolves are at 7 and are one of the few teams that are actually looking great so far this year. It's an actual miracle. How are we good? I mean, I don't understand. I legitimately do not understand this, but it's happening, and I could not be happier. Then we have the Phoenix Suns at 8, who started off 7-4 and are now 8-8, which, looks like the Phoenix Suns type of thing. They really depend on Ricky Rubio far too much. Aaron Baines as well. They're hoping that DeAndre Ayton comes back as soon as possible after that PED suspension and looks dominant, but we don't know. I mean, he's not necessarily the fast starter type of player, but he's a great player, but he's always going to be haunted by Trae Young and Luka Doncic, so there's not much left to say about DeAndre Ayton. At 9, we have the Kings, who started off 0-5 and are now 7-9. The Thunder at 10, Pelicans at 11, Blazers at 12, Spurs at 13, Grizzlies at 14, and the Warriors, in one of the hugest falls from grace I've ever seen, have a winning percentage of just 16.166666 at 3-15, and are by far and away the worst team in the league by record. Then in the East, we have the Bucks, who are first, despite the fact that Max and I continuously shit on them for letting Malcolm Brogdon walk and keeping the walking trash can, Chris Middleton, who's had a horrible year so far. In second, we have the Heat, really surprising a lot of people. It looks like, they would have had a great year even if Jimmy Butler didn't sign. Jimmy Butler is just the cherry on top, the screaming, annoying cherry on top. Then we have the Celtics at 3, who are dealing with missing Kemba a little after he took that scary neck injury by running into Gershon Yabusele, I believe. I don't know if I'm too certain in that one anymore. But he ran into one of his own players. His neck snapped back slightly, and we're wishing the best to Kemba. That's just an injury you never want to see happen to anyone, and it looked significantly worse than it ended up being. But that's just not good, man. I don't think anyone wants to deal with that. Concussion-like symptoms, I know very well. They're not very fun. In fourth, we have the Raptors. Don't know if I said that yet, but that is true. We have the Sixers in 5th, Pacers at 6. A lot of news coming out discreetly from the Pacers. My inside source, I'm so happy I get to say that now. My inside source is telling me that there have been so many rumblings about Victor Oladipo wanting out of Indiana, and that he's been healthy for about 3 months now and has not played yet, because he does not trust the medical staff, which would be horrible for Indiana. Because if Indiana has a medical staff that their players can't trust anymore, I mean, they lost Paul George to it for that was at least a part of why he left. You could argue that it was also that they just didn't have the team for him, but it's a struggle. And if Victor Oladipo, their next star, the player that was supposed to take them into the next era of Indiana basketball shows up and then has a problem with the medical staff. That's just doesn't look good. But moving on, we have the Nets at 7, who are 9-8 and have won their last 4 behind Spencer Dinwiddie, who looks like he may just be the best point guard on that team. I'm not even sure I'm joking anymore. Spencer Dinwiddie has looked insanely good over the past few games, and I mean, Kyrie Irving has had a negative effect on the past 2 teams he's been with. I mean, there's not those are the facts. That's nothing that you can walk around. That's nothing you can ignore. But we're just trying to make that work, and I mean, I don't like the Nets. I genuinely don't. I don't like Nets fans who were Warriors fans last year, or were, who knows, Lakers fans last year that saw the the whole washed king thing, and were like, I gotta hedge my bets. I don't like people like that. I don't like the Nets. I have notably said that I don't think Kevin Durant is coming back as good as he was, which is sad, yes, but at the same time, like, seriously, who do the Nets think they are? You started in New Jersey. What type of bearing do you have in being the best New York team? You're not. You will never be the best New York team. I don't care how bad James Dolan is. The Nets will never be the team of New York. That's not happening. They started in New Jersey. That's enough argument. They started in New Jersey. They are now in Brooklyn. And, I mean, they haven't accomplished anything. They have one playoff berth in whatever it is since that horrible trade that just destroyed them. They have, like, 3 total playoff appearances. I think the Knicks since then have either 1 or none. But at the same time, the Madison Square Garden has routinely sold out even when they're the worst. And you can call Knicks fans chumps for that. I don't care. The Nets will never be New York's team. At 8, we have the Orlando Magic, who still can't score at all. And it's kind of sad that in the East, 6 and 10 will grab you the 8th seed. The Pistons are the 9 seed. I think most teams around the league that are pretty good are looking forward to Blake Griffin not like being traded and being the second or third option on an actual title team, and seeing the Pistons fail and be 6-11 right now has to feel good. They've also just generally not looked great. Yeah, and then we have the Wizards, the Washington Wizards. That still doesn't stick. If you have anything better, please call in and tell me. 802-440-4668. Again, 802-440-4668. As Max would say, comments, concerns, questions, compliments, whatever you want to tell us. Yeah, apparently no one can listen into the one can listen. The Bulls at 11, that team is just set to fire Jim Boylan. And if they don't, something's going to go wrong. I mean, Zach LaVine notably hates him. Players just avoided him after Zach LaVine hit that crazy game winner, his 13th three against the Charlotte Hornets to win that game at the buzzer. Everyone avoided Jim Boylan. Like, he's just not a coach that anyone there likes. And that's a horrible situation for a young team. Because a young team with a bad coach, we've seen it notoriously goes poorly. I mean, look at what the T-Wolves became with Tom Thibodeau. Look at what the Knicks became with Jeff Hornacek. Like, honestly, the list goes on and on and on. There were the Lakers just before they hired Luke Walton. Who the hell did they have? I can't remember, but it was not good. I mean, you need to have a good coach. Which I mean, I put up a video yesterday night talking about how the Bulls could go after D'Antoni, and I think that's a legitimate possibility, especially with the fact that the Rockets are 11-6, which is a good record, but they've lost their past 3, and they're just going back to Harden ball, and it's not working. Moving on, the Hornets are in the 12th seed at 6-12, which is just about 6 more wins than I thought they would have by this point. The Cavs are 5-12 at the 13th seed. 5 wins is about 3 more than I thought they would have by now. The Hawks in 14th, I thought they would probably have double as many wins right now. And the Knicks are exactly where we all thought they would be. Except I said that they could make playoffs, and I regret that heavily now. Yeah, I mean, those are the standings.